And how should the organization evolve over time? Let's say you have like raised some money, like Series A, Series B.
Mm-hmm.
As we build up the org, there's like growth people, there's PMMs, there's a brand and comms. Like, should you organize it as like there's a head of brand and PMM, or a head of like brand and comms? Outside of the growth parts, and like which functions should be part of the brand team? Should content marketing be part of the brand team, or social media, or like just internal comms, external comms? And what's your view on the organizational structure for brand marketing?
Yeah. Well, this is a hard question to answer because the organizational structure of a marketing org is open to debate, like at any given moment. There are lots of debates about it, lots of arguments about it, lots of heartache, right? Like I've been at places where there's constantly some level of infighting about where does design live? And actually, I'm a big fan of product design living with EPD, engineering, product, and design. There's the D is there for a reason, but then you have the question that follows, is if we have D for design in EPD, what about marketing designers? Do we hire a marketing designer and put them on the design team in EPD, or do we hire a marketing designer and put them in the marketing org? And this comes down to, like, honestly, people's feelings, right? You have designers out in the ether who are like waiting to be hired. They want a job. When they think about their career, do they think about their career as a marketer? Are they going to grow as a marketer? Is that what they want? Like, kind of depends on the person you're hiring, right? Like, or do they fancy themselves, I want to be like a well-rounded designer. I want to be part of a design org. I want to learn from a design leader. And that design leader is sitting in EPD. What are you going to do? Like, as a marketing leader, I'm like, I don't care. Just come join the company because I need the asset and the resource. Like, I would like you to sit with the team. I would like you to hang out with the team. This is in the before times when we like sat together. But if I'm a big fan of like holistic, long-term career thinking for individuals, because the individual matters more than the company, right? When you're thinking about, like, I mean, I'm biased. Like, I went off and I'm doing my individual thing now. But what are we seeing the past couple of years is like it's every man for himself. You have to defend your own career. You have to think about your own future. So, like, if you're a designer or you're a marketer trying to hire designers, you got to expect they don't want to work on the marketing team. They don't want that to be their career path. So you could be flexible. Let them go to EPD, but figure out a way to keep them close to you. So I think answering that org question is like, it's going to be unique to whatever the setup is when you arrive. Because, like, for most people in this chat, they're going to arrive to a place that has some history. They've had some experiences. They've had some infights. They've had some people fired. They've had some people leave. They've had a lot of turmoil. This is normal because it happens at every startup, unless you're there from day one. So the org structure is gonna vary. However, for the rest of the marketers, where it's a little bit easier to define, I think of marketing as a spectrum. And growth marketing is here, brand marketing is here, product marketing is right in the middle. So you have marketers who have their majors, right? So like your product marketing major, maybe your minor is brand marketing, or your product marketing major, maybe your minor is growth marketing, but it's very rare that you have a growth marketer whose minor is brand marketing. Rare, right? It's just, and very rare that you have a brand marketer whose minor is growth marketing. That's why I found myself in so much like discomfort when I was responsible for the whole thing at a startup, right? It's not like I was at a huge org where I had hugely supportive pillar leads, like a head of growth marketing, a head of brand, a head of PMM. No, it was like nominally, I'm just responsible for making sure all this is good, is going well. And, it's a lot of pressure. So you put a strong person here, a strong person here, a strong person here, and hope that they're like, that they balance each other out. That's the best advice I got. Content, does it live in brand or does it live in growth? It depends. If you're using your content in like kind of like a direct response way, it's kind of an old school approach, right? Or at least everyone's still doing it, but everyone's pretending that they don't want to do it anymore, which is gating content. They don't want to gate content anymore, but they still gate content because nobody can figure out how to get, lead information. I get it. So if you're approaching content from the perspective that this content drives leads and we somehow have instrumented it with all this tech to like actually know what's driving what, and it's a very direct response approach, then content should live under growth, right? But if you're like fully committed to this very progressive notion that you gate nothing and you're just doing it for the vibes, then it could happily live under brand, and and people will coexist and like have a great time creating, and neither way is wrong. So it depends on your org.
Yeah, I really like what you said about like the organizational history and what people you have and what people you can hire like determines a lot of it. I have seen in terms of design, org also change over time. So for example, at Slack, we had initially at early stage a head of design that oversees both marketing designers and product designers. And they're almost like outside of the marketing org or product org. And then as the product becomes more scaled, and there's more design needs from marketing campaigns and scaling our production, and then there is a marketing design like director reporting into the head of marketing and have marketing designers reporting into the marketing org versus the product designers report into the product org. So that could also change. And also content marketing. In early days, there was like a pretty big sort of a journalistic approach into our content. So we actually hired a number of people who are editors and writers with journalism background that writes for the Slack blog. And that's a pretty big org from early days, and have a pretty senior person overseeing that org outside of brand team and growth marketing team as its own org. So it's like, but in other places I've seen like a content living in brand or in growth marketing.
Yeah, none of them are wrong. It really is individual to the unique dynamics of that business, and it will change over time. Like whatever it is when you're coming in, like probably it's going to change within the next 2 years, and that's also normal.